Oh man, that's a good looking view. The E36 is all finished up. The E46 M3 is in the garage, but it's been a while. I haven't done an actual complete walk around video for YouTube on this car. So I figured might as well turn it on, get it to the middle of the garage, and let's do a walk around, show you everything I've done. Also, I would just want to say that SEMA was absolutely incredible. It was so cool to meet all you guys. Can't believe how many people knew exactly every little part, every little video I've done on this car. Really, really cool experience. But for you guys that weren't at SEMA, I want to just show you all the little details that I showed to them and just give you a nice walk around video because it's pretty dang cool. Alrighty, other cars are moved, so it's time to turn this thing on. It is absolutely freezing, but this thing should kick on pretty easily. From up front, it's not too bad. Some engine noises, pretty nice. But man, around back, it's just pretty insane. Sounds pretty cool. Let's get it back in the garage. Alrighty guys, so to start off, for everyone that doesn't know me, my name is Dylan at PDX Vert, and I machine all my own custom parts for this car, as many as I could think of. So starting off here with the wheels, these are my own wheel design. They are a Porsche center lock GT Cup car style lock in the middle, and these are forged faces that I designed, programmed, and machined. They are a 5x130 and a 5x120 drive pin pattern on the back, and they are mounted to OEM authentic BBS E88 lips and barrels, and everything's powder coated to match. So really cool wheel setup. I'm running 18x9s in the front and 18x10.5 in the rear with a 295 R888R. So pretty cool setup here. And these are mounted to my custom machined center lock big brake kit. So on this car, where it differs from the M3, the E46, this car has the center hat of the rotor is actually the center lock snout. So those are machined out of steel. They bolt into the rotor just like normal. And then I have these custom wheel bolts that have a 20mm drive pin diameter on top of the wheel bolt, holds the whole assembly on. And then this wheel clicks onto those drive pins, and this center lock nut I machined out of 7075 aluminum, and it's hard anodized, and kind of all just goes together. Torque these, the driver's side is right hand and the passenger side is left hand thread, and these torque to 370 foot-pounds, and I've had no issues with them. Also, just a side note, over here on the E46, so these are my center lock adapters. So these ones bolt on to any car and allow you to put like OEM Porsche center locks, just like these wheels, onto any platform. This is the same center lock snout design, same nut. Here's the safety pin. So if the nut for whatever reason comes loose, it can get loose like an eighth of a turn before the safety clip's gonna catch it. The other wheel, like my E36, has the exact same safety clip. It's just flipped around and it's in, and then an OEM BMW cap can just click into the nut, and it just makes it a little bit different aesthetic. This is more race car. That's just a little bit cleaner and simpler. And then these are actually BMW's OEM floating emblem. So pretty cool setup there. Really clean, really simple for like the appearance of it, but it's way more complicated than it looks. A lot of people at SEMA missed that since they didn't know the car. Now, as for the body, everything minus obviously the hood cutout and the engine, everything besides that, I really wanted to make a little bit OEM plus of what I thought the E36 M3 should have been from factory, not the same as the narrow body non-M cars. So what we have up here is this is a hard motorsports plastic flare completely molded on. So it's about 1 inch wider per side in the front, nice and subtle, but super clean and OEM plus looking. And then in the rear, got a little bit more aggressive. These are Rieger Infinity 2 flares, so they're about 2.5 inches wider per side, pretty dang beefy, and the arch line goes way up higher, but these are fully molded in. The front end is very, very OEM, M3 bumper, fog lights, headlights, chrome grills, and then that is the Turner Motorsports 3-piece lip, so pretty cool on that one. It's an LTW style, but then it actually has that big aluminum skid plate underneath, that lower plastic piece, you can adjust it. So I have it about 1 inch out from the secondary piece, but you can pull it way out if you want. So that's a really, really cool unit right there. And finally, for the body, obviously the hood is cut. This is a very controversial design. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people hated it. Just something a little bit different. I knew I wanted a quarter hood because I wanted to cover the front stuff up here, but I really wasn't a fan of going off and seeing the top side of the fenders all the way up. So this is an OEM hood cut down the middle and has an insane amount of time into it to make it straight and perfect, but turned out really good. It's mounted on the hinges still, just without the shocks. And then for the front, I did not want hood pins. So this is still mounted on OEM just hood latches. Major issue with that is I'm a tube front and my wire can't go to the hood release system. So what I did is I machined a little bracket and a little pull ball and modified the stock wire. So it comes down there and dangles through there. See if we can see it here. You can see in there, nope, you can't see anything, but there's a little pull ball. I reach my hand in there, pull on the hood, and it releases just like normal. Pretty cool. Getting to the engine bay. Now this car I bought wrecked from my friend. This shock tower was just absolutely destroyed. So I cut off the front end in my garage, had no clue what I was doing, kind of just went from there. First thing I started out with was the shock towers themselves. Those are machined out of a billet piece of 4140 chromoly. So really, really fancy shock towers. They are capped with a beauty cover. This is 6061 aluminum and then anodized. You can see it says GMW. And then I machined these little cover nuts. These are machined out of ETD 150, which is like a grade 8 material. And then those are zinc plated. So really, really nice finished shock tower areas there. They are welded into a full tube front. Luckily, the lower frame rails were straight. So those are OEM frame rails I just boxed in. Those turn out really, really nice. So not too complicated on the frame rail. Right there is my custom firewall bulkhead. So the wiring specialties harness connects to the X20 connector, the OEM connector on the other side. Basically my fuse box was there, now it's under the dash. That connection point, I can just click remove and it acts like a perfect bulkhead and the plate stays in place. So really clean there. Next to it is the Chase Bay's brake booster delete. So I'm running their lines, their booster delete, and their tucked radiator. Love Chase Bay stuff. Fit up really well, pretty simple and cool, nothing too fancy there. And obviously by the looks and noise, this is not a normal BMW engine. This is actually a truck motor LS that I bought for 200 bucks, rebuilt it in my garage. It is a complete budget build that I sourced together. And then towards the end started putting some fancier parts on it. And it's paired to a T56 transmission with the LS7 clutch. I have the Redux Racing ITBs. That I fully polished the lower section instead of cast. So super cool there. Turned out really neat. They make cool induction noises. They're a pain in the butt to tune, but we're getting it dialed in. And then besides that, really, I mean, cammed LS, cleaned it up all the way around. Some Motion Raceworks parts, pretty simple, not too crazy on the engine. I have plans in the future to do like a 7-liter, get crazy with it, but for now, super simple. And now for the fun part. So also M3 mirrors, LTW style door handles, and then on the inside, the interior was an absolute project because this car was rough and now it's all brand new. Now, my goal for the interior was a very modern OEM Plus look because I didn't really want to go full race car. This is a full interior, full functioning, dailyable car, I guess, besides the front end. But everything, all the comfort features are still there. So these are F82 M4 seats, and what I did on these is I first got them in the car, put them in, the rails didn't line up, so I made little step over brackets. Turned out that didn't work because I'm 6'2" and my head was completely against the ceiling. They sat way too high for this car. So these are completely gutted on the bottom. I ripped out all the motors and electronics and I machined, well, didn't machine, laser cut and bent and powder coated custom brackets. You can see down there, those black brackets, there's 4 positions. So they're like fixed buckets pretty much. And I have 4 positions. I set the driver's side to where I'm gonna sit, set the passenger side to match it. And they sit about 2 inches lower than factory. And I still have motorized tilt of the back seat and that's it. Besides that, they're fixed buckets and they're pretty dang sweet. And then to match, the steering wheel is an F10 M5 steering wheel. I actually have another one coming that is yellow stitching just to match it. It has some carbon pieces on it, so that'll be pretty cool. I have a carbon skin on the back, and then the back seat is super cool. So this is actually still an E36 back seat. I tried the M4 seat, was not even close. It's like 6 inches wider. So still an E36 seat, but just upholstered in the matching leather. Stitching is the front seat, and pattern. So it has that neat pattern all the way through it to match the M4 styling. So really, really happy with the back seat. Super OEM Plus. Fits into place perfectly, but looks a little bit more modern. And you can't forget about the billet seatbelt holders, you know, completely over the top parts, but super cool. I am actually gonna do my first batch of these because they worked out really well, and I can't believe how destroyed everyone's are. So gonna do a batch of 20 sets of stainless, so that'll be fun to just throw up my first part and see how they sell. Continuing on the interior, I have some white gauges up there. This is a BMW's Radio Complete Bluetooth unit, so it looks and appears perfectly OEM, but it's fully Bluetooth. Really, really cool on that. Carbon dash piece here. Custom shifter, I'm probably going to change up this area. I want to do this in carbon, a carbon center console, and a new e-brake boot, new shift boot with yellow stitching, just to tie everything together, but nothing too different there. And then on the door cards themselves, this was a tricky project because with the seats being so large, the door cards did not close very well on them. So these are actually the Hard Motorsports plastic door cards, which they've fit good, but it took a ton of work to get them to this point. So right here I have a set of BAV sound speakers and speaker covers. So everything, the sound system's actually really good in this car. It's fully converted to BAV sound, super cool there. And then a set of yellow ST track parts, like pull handles, and a black handle to close it. And then this is upholstered best we could to fit this door panel. It had to be done in one shot with yellow stitching and just throw it on because it's not a upholsterable, like removable door card. It's one piece in plastic. So tried to line it best we could up. Turned out really, really good for being a plastic door card. I really like this look. And these are also that matching Hard Motorsport rear door card, also upholstered. So all the way through the car, it's done. And finally, the full headliner was gray. So my girlfriend and I ripped that apart, reupholstered it in black suede. All OEM black components are now changed over. So the top end of the car and like the back shelf is all really, really clean. And finally onto the rear end of the car, I have an LTW wing, these awesome taillights from Beamworks Customs. So these look and appear just like OEM, but they actually have 430 something LEDs per side, and they're fully programmable and they're really freaking cool. I'm still working on getting them finished up and wired in completely and programmed properly, but they're really cool nonetheless. I'm really excited to get those into like a full-on show mode. They can do cool light sequences. And then right here is my custom machine plate. This is for my show use only. So cool billet, and then I anodized it and then came back and decked it. Really, really cool plate. I have a normal plate I can put on for driving. And then my custom exhaust, this is on 2 Valvetronic mufflers and custom machine GMW tips, and those match the wheels. So really cool, simple setup in the rear. I wasn't a fan of the huge diffuser look or anything, so overall it's really not that crazy back here. This is pretty much just a nice OEM plus car, and then plus the engine bay, which is a little chaotic. And once again, guys, thank you guys so much for all the support on this whole car, this whole build series. I'm super excited to do version 2 of this car and then work on the next E46 M3 project and just keep the channel growing. I have a whole bunch of crazy parts ready to go, different ideas to design and machine. So I'm gonna take you guys along for the ride. Thank you guys for the support, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.